Did you know that over 10,000 Canadians are at risk of losing their citizenship this year alone? It's shocking, right? And the reason isn't some far-off disaster or global crisis. It's because of rules you might never even know existed. Rules that are more common than you'd think, and some are so brutal that can take away your Canadian citizenship overnight. Imagine living in Canada for decades, thinking you're safe, only to find out that a single mistake, a small oversight, or even a personal choice could cost you everything. Sounds unbelievable. Well, buckle up, because that's the reality for thousands of people today. Stick with us as we dive into the 10 brutal rules you absolutely need to know. You won't believe the power these laws hold, and some of them could hit closer to home than you think. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how these rules could change your life forever. Number 1. Criminal activity can cost you your citizenship. One of the most serious threats to your Canadian citizenship is criminal activity. While most people understand that committing a crime can land you in jail, many don't realize that a criminal conviction, especially for serious offenses like terrorism or espionage, can actually lead to the revocation of your citizenship. It doesn't matter how long you've been living in Canada or how deeply you've integrated into the community. If the government believes you're a threat, you could lose your status as a Canadian citizen. This is a tough reality, but it's an essential rule designed to protect the integrity of the country. Interestingly, Canada has some of the strictest regulations when it comes to citizenship and criminal convictions. These laws are not only about punishing bad behavior, they're about ensuring that Canada remains a safe place for everyone. While most crimes might not lead to citizenship revocation, certain serious offenses, particularly those that threaten national security or the safety of Canadians, are taken very seriously. Canada has the right to revoke citizenship in such cases, even if the person has been living peacefully for years. So, what does this mean for you? It's clear. If you're a Canadian citizen, you need to be aware of the consequences of criminal behavior. Even a minor legal issue could spiral into something much larger, and you could lose your citizenship without even knowing it was at risk. Stay vigilant, follow the law, and ensure that your actions align with Canadian values and expectations. It might just save your citizenship in the long run. We put a lot of effort into bringing you the latest insights and details. So if you found this information eye-opening, make sure to leave a comment. What do you think about this rule? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. It's just one click, but it helps us bring you more valuable content. Number 2. Fraudulent applications lead to immediate loss. Have you ever considered lying on an application? Maybe you thought stretching the truth would get you ahead, but in Canada, doing so could cost you everything, your citizenship included. If you're caught providing false information, such as submitting fake documents or lying about your background, your Canadian citizenship can be revoked without hesitation. This rule is one of the strictest measures designed to protect the integrity of Canada's immigration system and ensure that only those who genuinely qualify can become citizens. The Canadian government takes fraud in the immigration process very seriously. Once you've been granted citizenship, the assumption is that you've earned it honestly. When false information is discovered, it not only undermines the credibility of the system, but also puts national security and trust at risk. The penalties for fraud can be severe, citizenship revocation being one of the most extreme actions the government can take. The sad part is, many people don't realize how serious this can be until it's too late. So, what can you do to protect yourself? The best advice is simple: always tell the truth. If you've made an honest mistake on your application, it's far better to correct it immediately rather than risk your citizenship. The government is more likely to work with you if you're honest about any discrepancies. Lying, however, is an immediate red flag, and it can lead to irreversible consequences. So stay honest and transparent throughout your immigration process, and you'll avoid unnecessary risks. We put a lot of effort into making these videos, and we want to hear from you. Do you think the fraud rule is too harsh, or does it make sense to you? Drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. It's just one click, and helps us keep bringing you more insights. Number 3. Voluntary renunciation of citizenship. Imagine this. You've built a life in Canada, enjoying all the benefits of being a citizen. But one day, without realizing the consequences, you decide to acquire a second passport or nationality. It seems like a great idea at the time, But did you know that by doing so, you could unknowingly give up your Canadian citizenship? This is known as voluntary renunciation, and it's one of the most overlooked risks to your status in Canada. While Canada allows dual citizenship, acquiring a new nationality in certain situations could trigger the automatic loss of your Canadian citizenship. Renouncing your citizenship doesn't require any formal action, and it can happen without you even knowing it. For example, when you swear allegiance to another country, Canada may consider that as a voluntary renunciation. This rule is in place to maintain loyalty to the country. By becoming a citizen of another nation, you may be viewed as prioritizing your allegiance to that country over Canada, which goes against the country's principles of loyalty and commitment. It's a legal loophole that many people don't consider when pursuing dual nationality. So, how can you avoid this potential trap? If you're thinking about acquiring another citizenship, it's essential to do your research first. Many countries, including Canada, have strict rules on dual nationality and could consider your new citizenship as a renouncement of Canadian status. To stay protected, always check with legal experts before taking any steps toward acquiring a second passport. Knowing the potential consequences could save your citizenship from being lost in the process. We put tons of effort into delivering this important information. Now, we want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever considered dual citizenship, or were you surprised by this rule? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe. Just one click, and we'll keep the insights coming. Number 4. Living outside of Canada for too long. Did you know that spending too much time outside of Canada could actually cause you to lose your citizenship? This rule might come as a shock to many, especially to those who assume that once you're a Canadian citizen, you're forever protected, no matter where you live. But the truth is, if you're a naturalized citizen and you stay outside of Canada for more than 5 consecutive years, you could lose your Canadian status. This isn't just a minor issue. It's a harsh reality for those who assume that citizenship is a permanent right. Canada's residency requirement is designed to ensure that citizens maintain a strong connection to the country and contribute to its society. If you're away for extended periods, it may be seen as a sign that you no longer have a vested interest in Canada's well-being. This rule is primarily aimed at naturalized citizens who, unlike those born in Canada, must demonstrate a consistent commitment to the country. It's meant to prevent people from using Canadian citizenship as a passport to other opportunities without fulfilling the responsibilities that come with it. What can you do to safeguard your citizenship? If you're planning to live abroad for an extended time, it's important to stay connected with Canada. Keep up with taxes, property ownership, and other ties to the country. These actions show that you're still involved and invested in Canada's future. By maintaining these connections, you can avoid any risks to your citizenship. It's all about proving your ongoing loyalty and commitment, no matter where you are in the world. We've shared a lot of surprising information, and now we want to hear from you. Were you aware of the rule about living outside Canada for too long? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click. It helps us bring you more valuable insights. Number 5. Serving in a foreign military. Here's a rule that many people overlook. If you join the military of another country, you could lose your Canadian citizenship. It doesn't matter whether it's a peaceful nation or one that shares Canada's values. Serving in a foreign military can automatically jeopardize your status. This rule is all about national security and loyalty. Canada expects its citizens to prioritize its interests, and if you're serving in a foreign army, especially one that might have conflicting goals with Canadian foreign policy, it raises serious concerns about divided loyalties. This is a powerful and often misunderstood rule because many citizens believe that serving in another country's military doesn't have any impact on their Canadian citizenship. However, Canada views military service as a significant act of allegiance to a foreign power. If you actively support another country's military efforts, especially during times of conflict, it's seen as a direct challenge to your commitment to Canada. This is why the Canadian government strictly enforces this rule to prevent citizens from engaging in foreign conflicts that could compromise national security. So, what can you do to protect yourself? If you're considering joining the military of another country, think twice about how it might impact your Canadian status. It's essential to fully understand the consequences of your decision and explore alternatives if you still wish to serve abroad. Even in peacetime, military service in another country can raise red flags. If you're in the military already and considering citizenship, be aware of this potential risk. Always stay informed and ensure that your actions align with Canada's values. We put a lot of effort into sharing these crucial insights. Now it's your turn. Do you think the rule about foreign military service is too strict, or does it make sense? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing you the information that matters most. Number 6. Failure to meet residency requirements. You might think that once you're a Canadian citizen, you're set for life, but here's a hard truth. If you don't meet certain residency requirements, you could lose your citizenship. Specifically, naturalized citizens must have lived in Canada for at least 3 out of the last 5 years in order to retain their status. It doesn't matter how long you've been a citizen. If you fall short of this requirement, the government can revoke your citizenship. This rule is designed to ensure that those holding Canadian citizenship are active participants in the country's social, political, and economic life. The idea behind this residency requirement is simple. Canada wants its citizens to be engaged and involved in the country. After all, citizenship is not just a legal status, but also a commitment to the community. If you're absent for long periods, Canada may question your loyalty and interest in contributing to its future. For those who live abroad or travel frequently, this can be a potential risk, especially if they're unaware of the strict residency rules that govern Canadian citizenship. To avoid losing your citizenship, it's crucial to maintain ties with Canada. If you plan to live outside the country for extended periods, keep your connection to Canada alive, whether it's through property ownership, paying taxes, or returning regularly. These actions demonstrate that you still consider Canada home, and they can protect you from losing your citizenship due to a simple oversight. Be mindful of the residency rules and plan your time accordingly to ensure that you remain in good standing as a Canadian citizen. This video took a lot of research, and we want to hear from you. Were you aware of the residency requirement rule? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us bring you more vital information. Number 7. Failure to respect Canadian values. It's not just about following the law. Canada expects its citizens to uphold its core values. Failure to respect fundamental Canadian values, such as equality, freedom, and human rights, can lead to severe consequences, including the loss of citizenship. Canada prides itself on being a multicultural and inclusive society, and if you're found to be promoting hatred, violence, or discrimination against any group, you could be at risk of having your citizenship revoked. This is especially true if your actions or affiliations are deemed to threaten the safety and harmony of Canadian society. What exactly does this mean in practice? If you engage in or support activities that go against the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, like endorsing hate speech, engaging in violent extremism, or supporting terrorist organizations, the government can strip you of your citizenship. This rule is meant to ensure that all citizens are contributing positively to the country's social fabric. Canada is committed to building a society based on respect and tolerance, and those who undermine this vision are not welcome, no matter how long they've been citizens. So, how can you protect yourself from losing your citizenship? The key is simple. Live by the values that Canada cherishes. Treat others with respect, avoid any involvement with extremist groups, and stand against hate and discrimination. By doing so, you're not only safeguarding your citizenship, but also helping to preserve the very essence of what it means to be Canadian. It's about upholding the integrity of the society you're part of. We've put a lot of effort into researching and sharing this vital information. Now it's your turn. Do you agree with the rule about respecting Canadian values? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us keep bringing you the insights you need. Number 8. Deportation for national security threats. National security is a top priority for Canada, and if you're found to be a threat, your citizenship could be revoked, and you could be deported. While this may sound extreme, it's a measure designed to protect the safety and security of the country. If the Canadian government deems you to be involved in activities that pose a national security risk, such as espionage, terrorism, or supporting hostile foreign entities, you could lose your citizenship and be sent back to your country of origin. This rule ensures that those who have Canadian citizenship are not aligned with groups or actions that endanger the peace and stability of the nation. What makes this rule so serious is that the government has broad authority in matters of national security. If you're suspected of having connections to dangerous organizations or activities, you could find yourself under investigation. The authorities may act swiftly if they believe you pose a threat, without the same level of due process as other legal matters. This rule is strictly enforced to prevent any damage to the country's safety, and it underscores the importance of national security in Canada's citizenship policies. So, how can you protect yourself? The best way to avoid being caught in this situation is to remain transparent and avoid any ties to illegal activities. Always ensure that you're not involved in organizations or actions that could be considered a threat to national security. If you're ever in a situation where you're questioned or investigated, seek legal counsel immediately to understand your rights and the steps you can take to protect yourself. Your loyalty to Canada should always come first. We've shared some intense information here. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think the national security rule is fair, or does it seem too harsh? Let us know in the comments, and if you haven't subscribed yet, click that button. One click helps us keep these important videos coming your way. Number 9. Failure to pay taxes. Here's one rule that might surprise you. If you fail to pay your taxes in Canada, you could lose your citizenship. Many Canadians think that taxes are just a part of life and that missing a payment here and there won't have serious consequences. But in reality, Canada takes its tax laws seriously, and noncompliance can have far-reaching consequences. Failure to pay taxes, especially for long periods, can result in penalties, fines, and, in the most severe cases, the loss of citizenship. This rule is in place to ensure that all citizens contribute to the country's growth and infrastructure, maintaining fairness and financial stability. The logic behind this law is simple. Taxes are essential for keeping Canada's economy strong and ensuring that public services, from healthcare to infrastructure, are funded and maintained. When a citizen refuses or fails to pay their taxes, they are essentially freeloading on the system while reaping the benefits of living in Canada. This is why the government enforces strict rules, including potential citizenship revocation, for those who consistently avoid their tax obligations. Not paying taxes undermines the entire system that makes Canada function smoothly. So, how can you avoid falling into this trap? The best advice is to always stay on top of your tax filings. If you owe money, deal with it promptly by working with the Canada Revenue Agency, CRA, or seeking help from a tax professional. Pay your taxes on time, and make sure you file your returns correctly every year. By staying compliant, you'll ensure that your citizenship remains secure and that you continue to contribute to the country that provides you with so much. This video required a lot of research to bring you these vital insights. Now, we want to know, did you know that not paying taxes could result in losing your citizenship? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. It's just one click, and it helps us bring you more important content. Number 10. Undocumented stay in Canada. One of the most alarming ways you could lose your Canadian citizenship is by staying in the country without proper documentation. If you're living in Canada without the correct status, whether as a temporary resident, permanent resident, or citizen, you are at risk of deportation and losing your citizenship. Many people may not realize that even as a Canadian citizen, failing to renew certain documents or violating immigration laws can lead to severe consequences. This is particularly important for those who may not be fully aware of the legal paperwork required to maintain their status in the country. Canada's immigration laws are very clear. If you're found to be living in the country without proper legal status, you could face serious repercussions. This includes being asked to leave the country or having your citizenship revoked. The rules are strict because Canada must protect its borders and ensure that everyone within its territory is doing so legally. The system relies on citizens and residents to uphold these standards, and failing to do so can damage the integrity of the entire immigration system. What can you do to avoid falling into this trap? Always ensure that your documentation is in order. If you're a citizen, make sure your documents are up to date. If you're a permanent resident or temporary resident, keep track of your status and renew any necessary paperwork before it expires. Stay informed about your legal status, and if you're ever uncertain, consult with an immigration lawyer to clarify any issues. It's better to be proactive and avoid complications rather than risk your status and your future in Canada. We've shared some serious information, and now we want to hear from you. Were you aware that staying in Canada without the right documents could lead to the loss of citizenship? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. One click, and you'll help us keep bringing these important videos to you. As we've seen today, Canadian citizenship is not something to take for granted. While Canada is known for its inclusivity and welcoming attitude, there are strict laws that can strip away citizenship if certain conditions are violated. Whether it's engaging in criminal activities, lying on your citizenship application, serving in a foreign military, or even failing to meet basic residency requirements, the risks are real, and the consequences are severe. These 10 brutal rules are designed to maintain the integrity of the country and ensure that all citizens are genuinely committed to Canadian values. It's not just about following the law. It's about respecting the nation, contributing to its growth, and understanding the responsibility that comes with being a part of this diverse, beautiful country. Citizenship is a privilege, not a right, and these regulations exist to protect the society as a whole. If you're a naturalized citizen or planning to live in Canada, it's essential to stay informed and proactive about these rules. By staying honest, following the law, and being aware of your responsibilities, you can avoid falling into the traps that could cost you your citizenship. Remember, it's always better to be aware and prepare than to lose everything because of an unexpected oversight. We put a lot of effort into making these videos, and now we want to hear from you. What do you think about these rules? Are you surprised by any of them? Drop a comment below, and make sure to support us by hitting that subscribe button. It's just one click, and it helps us keep delivering more valuable content to you.